What if I told you that everything you've ever experienced, every success, every setback, every relationship, every coincidence, was not just happening to you but being shaped by something as invisible and powerful as your frequency? Not your words, not your goals, not even your mindset, but the vibrational field you unconsciously emit every second. Sounds strange, right? But stick with me because what you're about to uncover will completely shift how you see your reality. You've been trained to believe that life responds to effort, to strategy, to being good enough or ready. But what if life is actually responding to your signal? What if the universe is not reacting to what you want, but to what you are? And here's the unsettling truth. Most people go their entire lives without realizing they're stuck on a vibrational loop, recycling the same outcomes, attracting the same types of people, facing the same emotional patterns, because their frequency never changed. And no, this isn't about thinking positively or reciting affirmations in the mirror. This is deeper. This is about the quantum architecture of reality, the real mechanics behind why you're seeing what you're seeing, feeling what you're feeling, and living what you're living. Because the frequency you hold, whether it's rooted in fear, scarcity, self-doubt, or in clarity, power, and peace, is what's broadcasting your reality into form. And this frequency, it's not random. It's built from your attention, your emotions, your subconscious identity, what you observe on autopilot. But once you know how to shift it, consciously, coherently, consistently, your world doesn't just improve, it transforms completely. In this video, we're not just talking about science or spirituality. We're merging both to show you exactly how frequency shapes your experience and how to change it. And by the end, you won't just understand the theory. You'll feel it. You'll live it. So stay with me until the end because once you get this, you'll never unsee it. Ready to begin? Think about this. Two people can walk into the exact same room, same light, same temperature, same people, and walk away with completely different realities. One feels inspired, empowered, expanded. The other feels drained, ignored, invisible. It wasn't the room that changed. It was their frequency. You see, frequency isn't just about music or energy fields. It's the vibrational signal your body, mind, and emotions are constantly radiating. And here's the wild part. This signal doesn't stay inside you. It shapes the quantum field around you. It informs your interactions, colors your perceptions, and quite literally collapses certain realities into form while filtering others out. Imagine your frequency as a tuning fork. The universe, this intelligent field of infinite possibilities, is listening, waiting, responding not to your words, but to your resonance. This is why you can work hard, visualize daily, recite all the right affirmations, and still feel stuck. Because if your frequency is still broadcasting from fear, scarcity, or unworthiness, the field mirrors that, not what you say, but what you are. That's not just a spiritual metaphor, it's quantum law. The observer effect in physics shows that particles, the very building blocks of your world, do not become real until observed. And observation isn't just seeing, it's focus infused with emotion, with expectation, with identity. So what are you observing, really? What version of reality are you unconsciously selecting every day just by the way you feel, breathe, react? Because what you feel is not private. It's the script your life follows. And most people are living the same loop, not because life is fixed, but because their frequency is. So here's the question that will change everything. What if it's not reality you need to fix, but the frequency you're tuning from? You've been doing everything they told you to do. You've read the books, you've set the goals, you've tried to think positively, you've even whispered your affirmations into the mirror with tears in your eyes, hoping something, anything, would finally shift. But the truth is, deep down, you still feel like you're chasing something that keeps moving just out of reach. Like no matter how much effort you put in, life keeps handing you the same results, the same arguments, the same financial pressure, the same quiet loneliness when the lights go out. And here's the truth no one told you. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're operating from a frequency that was never yours to begin with, a frequency shaped by survival, by trauma, by a world that taught you to expect less, settle more, and fear change. And the worst part, you didn't choose it. It was installed. Your nervous system memorized it. And now you wake up every day unknowingly broadcasting that same signal, and the universe, precise and neutral, mirrors it back, faithfully. That's why you attract the same kind of partners. That's why money always slips through your fingers. That's why peace feels like something only other people have. But what if that's not your fate? What if it's just your frequency? And more importantly, what if you could change it, not by trying harder, but by tuning deeper? This isn't about doing more. It's about becoming different. And in the next chapter, I'm going to show you how. Here's the truth most people never realize. You're not stuck because life is hard. You're stuck because you're still broadcasting from a version of you that doesn't match the life you say you want. And that version is not your destiny. It's just your default. A default shaped by repetition, emotion, and unconscious focus. But the moment you shift your observation, you shift your entire timeline. This is where the science meets the sacred. Quantum physics has already shown us that your reality doesn't exist independently of you. It's co-created through your observation. But observation is not just seeing. It's your emotional lens, your vibrational echo, the frequency of your expectations. Every time you expect disappointment, you collapse a reality that confirms it. Every time you breathe from fear, the field adjusts accordingly. But here's the shift. You can break the loop by changing how you observe, not the world, but yourself within it. Because when you begin to tune your attention to peace, to worthiness, to possibility, your frequency elevates, and the field responds. This isn't a theory. It's been proven through brain scans, energy mapping, and thousands of real transformations. The reticular activating system in your brain literally filters what you see based on what you believe. So when you start believing in a new version of you, your brain starts finding evidence for it. And as the evidence grows, your frequency stabilizes. And once your frequency stabilizes, everything begins to bend. Synchronicities appear. People change. Doors open. Why? Because the version of you who lives the life you dream of isn't somewhere far away. It's already vibrating in the field, waiting for you to match its signal. So the real shift isn't about fixing your life. It's about observing from a new identity. And in the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the exact mechanics of how to do this, how to stop watching from the old lens and start creating from the new one. This is where the real transformation begins, not with effort, but with awareness. Because once you understand that your focus is not just attention, but activation, everything changes. Focus is frequency, and whatever you consistently focus on becomes the signal you broadcast into the quantum field. Most people don't realize they've been using their focus reactively, scanning for problems, replaying old stories, bracing for the worst. And every time they do that, they're feeding the frequency of the very reality they're trying to escape. But here's the secret. The field doesn't care whether what you focus on is true, only whether it's consistent. So if you want to shift timelines, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Try this. For the next 24 hours, become radically aware of what you're observing. When you look at your bank account, observe from sufficiency, not lack. When you look at your reflection, observe from love, not judgment. When you think about your future, observe it like it's already happening, because each of these moments is a frequency broadcast, and together they create a vibrational blueprint that the universe mirrors back to you. Science backs this up too. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when people emotionally connect with a new vision of their future, their brains and bodies begin to behave as if it's already real. Their energy field expands, their nervous system calms, their biology begins to match the new signal. Because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one if the emotion is strong enough. That means you don't have to wait for life to change to feel better. You change how you feel to invite life to change. This is not wishful thinking. It's quantum entrainment. So the question isn't, is it possible? The question is, can you hold the frequency long enough for it to become inevitable? And in the next part, I'll show you the one shift in your emotional reflex that unlocks this power faster than anything else. Here's the hidden mechanism most people miss. Your thoughts may initiate change, but it's your emotional and physiological alignment that anchors it. You can visualize abundance all day, but if your body still flinches in fear when the bills arrive, you're sending a mixed signal, and the quantum field responds to coherence, not confusion. Coherence is when your mind, heart, and body vibrate in the same frequency, when what you think, what you feel, and how you act all speak the same energetic language. That's when the signal becomes unmistakable. And the moment your signal becomes clear, the field begins to bend in your favor. This isn't spiritual poetry, it's neuroscience and quantum feedback in motion. Your heart, for instance, has an electromagnetic field 60 times more powerful than your brain. When you feel gratitude, love, or trust, this field becomes highly ordered and harmonized, entraining your brain and broadcasting a frequency that rewrites your experience of the world. This is why real manifestation isn't about thinking harder. It's about becoming the vibrational match to what you want. And that requires emotional precision. Here's a simple but profound shift. When you catch yourself slipping into doubt or fear, don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Then gently rewire it. Say aloud, "That's not my frequency anymore." Use your breath to reset. Use your posture to align. Use your presence to return. These micro shifts repeated are how new frequencies become stable. They tell the nervous system, we're safe in this new timeline. And the nervous system responds by releasing old programs and welcoming new ones. This is the root of quantum embodiment. Not hoping for change, but becoming the change on a cellular, emotional, energetic level. In the next part, I'll walk you through a step-by-step practice to do exactly that. One you can use every morning to align with your highest frequency before the world even has a chance to pull you off track. Every morning, before your phone lights up, before the world asks anything from you, you're standing at the doorway between timelines, the version of you who lives in survival and the one who lives in sovereignty. And what you do in those first moments sets the vibrational tone for everything that follows. So here's the practice. The moment you wake, don't reach for your to-do list, reach inward. Close your eyes, let go of your name, your roles, your story. For just 3 minutes, become no one, going nowhere. Then visualize the version of you who is already living the reality you desire. See them walking, breathing, smiling. Notice how their body moves, how their energy feels, how they observe the world, not from fear, but from presence. And now, here's the shift. Step into them. Don't just imagine that version. Become them. Feel their posture in your spine. Breathe their breath. Let their knowing settle into your nervous system like a new home. This is not daydreaming. This is quantum entrainment. You're giving your body a new memory, your field a new signal, and your subconscious a new instruction. This is who I am now. The more often you do this, the more your baseline frequency elevates, not through struggle but through stability. And once that frequency becomes your default, the field adjusts accordingly. Synchronicities increase, resistance dissolves, and life begins to mirror your new identity with shocking precision. This is how the shift becomes permanent, not because you chased a new timeline, but because you tuned into it until it had to collapse into form. In the next chapter, we're going to unveil the deeper truth most people overlook, why their old identity keeps pulling them back, and how to finally sever the vibrational cords that tie you to the past. Here's the truth that stings, but also sets you free. The version of you that's been creating your current life is not broken, but it is outdated. It's a pattern, a vibrational habit, a loop of thoughts, emotions, and reactions that your system memorized so well it became your identity. And even when you try to change, when you meditate, journal, visualize, if your subconscious still identifies as, the one who always struggles, the field will reflect that frequency without fail. This is why change feels temporary. Because unless you shift the observer, the identity watching the world, your new life will always be filtered through the lens of the old one. This is not your fault. That lens was shaped by pain, by protection, by programming you didn't choose. But here's your liberation. You can choose again. You can disrupt the loop not with force, but with precision. The first step? Awareness. Notice when the old you speaks. That voice that says, "It's not working," or "Who do you think you are?" or "Be careful, remember last time." These are not facts, they're echoes, and echoes only repeat when you keep listening. So the next time that voice rises, pause, close your eyes, and ask, who is observing this fear? And who do I choose to be now? This tiny shift in observation cracks the shell of the old identity, and in that crack, light gets in. Possibility returns. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to be small. And when you observe life from that version, from the self that is already whole, the quantum field begins to reconfigure. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. In the next section, we'll go even deeper. How to lock in this new identity so fully that the old one can no longer hijack your frequency, no matter what happens outside you. Anchoring a new frequency isn't about shielding yourself from the world. It's about stabilizing a vibration so deeply in your nervous system that no external chaos can override it. This is the secret to quantum resilience. Most people think they need the outside world to be calm for them to feel calm. But the real power is in reversing that flow, creating an inner stillness so coherent that the world starts mirroring you. Your body is not just a container of your past, it's an amplifier of your now. Every breath, every posture, every micro-expression is a broadcast. So here's the practice. Throughout your day, use your body as an anchor. When you feel yourself slipping into stress or contraction, pause. Drop your shoulders. Exhale longer than you inhale. Bring awareness to your heart. Then recall the energy of the future version of you, the one you connected with in the morning practice. Ask, how would they breathe right now? How would they speak? What would they not worry about? And then become that version for 30 seconds. That 30 seconds isn't just a break, it's a frequency reset. Do it enough times and it becomes your new baseline. Your nervous system begins to trust this signal. It says, this is who we are now. And the universe listens. This is how you stop being reactive and start becoming magnetic. You stop absorbing your environment and start informing it. You stop being a product of circumstance and become a transmitter of coherence. And when coherence becomes your foundation, manifestation becomes effortless, not because you pushed, but because you aligned. In the final chapter, I'll show you the one practice that turns this shift from occasional to inevitable. A loop method so simple yet powerful, it will rewire your identity day by day without burnout, without effort, and without needing anyone else to change. This is where it all comes together, not as a concept, but as a lifestyle. What you've just learned isn't a temporary boost, it's a system, a quantum framework for becoming the version of you who naturally attracts, creates, and embodies the life you once thought was far away. And now, here's how to make it real every single day. The frequency loop method. It has 3 simple steps: morning, midday, night. First, morning declaration. Right when you wake up, before checking your phone or speaking to anyone, close your eyes and declare, "Today I observe from my highest frequency. Today I collapse the timeline I choose." Feel it, speak it, anchor it. Second, midday reset. Set a reminder on your phone, and when it goes off, pause everything. Take 3 deep breaths, touch your heart, and whisper, "I return to the version of me I'm becoming." Even 10 seconds realigns your field. Third, evening embodiment. Before bed, replay your day and ask, where did I observe from trust? Where did I fall into fear? Don't judge, just notice. Gratitude for each shift builds coherence overnight. That's it. 3 touch points. Minimal effort, maximum signal. Because you don't need more willpower, you need more reminders of who you really are. And now, you have them. You have the tools. You have the truth. And if you've made it here, you're not just curious. You're ready. Ready to stop waiting. Ready to stop looping. Ready to start broadcasting. So now, take the final step. If this message activated something in you, if you felt your breath shift, your heart open, your soul say yes, then let this be your declaration. Comment below, I lock in my new frequency, not as a phrase, but as a signal. Because when you name it, you claim it. And when you claim it, the field starts responding. And if you want to keep tuning, expanding, aligning, then subscribe to this channel, not for content, for coherence. Like this video to feed the field. Share it with someone who needs to remember their power. Because this is not just a video, it's a transmission. And now you're part of the frequency.